Hey you guys, what's going on? It's me, Stacks McDuck, and I want to welcome you to my channel, a channel dedicated to documenting this particular writer's journey as told by a mostly reliable narrator. Mostly. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, so glad to have you. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button. So today I want to make a really brief video just talking about some of my writing staples. These are certain principles that I use to write better. So, let's talk about it. My first writing staple is I never start a narrative with dialogue. I personally find that starting a narrative with dialogue is rather presumptuous for the writer. Why would your audience care about what some rando at this point in the story, the very beginning, has to say without any context or orientation, unless you have your character saying something profound or something that is emblematic of the theme in your story? I personally just don't do it. That's me. To demonstrate my point, I have this story that I purchased from a self-published author. Now, there is nothing wrong with self-publishing. However, it's within self-publishing, this literary Wild West, that we see such flagrant displays of style. And I don't know how to demonstrate this without identifying the work. Actually, no, wait, I got it. Hey, so as you can see, I have this passage blurred out so I don't identify the author or the work, but as you can see, it is part 1 and this is page 1, and we start off with a quotation. But not only do we start off with a quotation, this quotation is paragraphs long. To me, that is a writing faux pas. A good rule of thumb is to give a couple of lines of dialogue, perhaps 2 to 3, and then break it off, with the dialogue tag and some kind of descriptor or like a character reaction to break up the monotony of this character just talking. Because right now I'm being lectured by one character, and if I wanted to be lectured, I would just audit a college class. But anyway, throughout this, I can tell the author is trying to do some exposition. And exposition through dialogue can work, but it's just clumsily handled in this particular case. Like, we have a locale mentioned, we have another character mentioned. This character is giving the other character driving directions, but we don't even get a reaction from the other character. I think this sounds like a grizzled, salty old vet of the force lecturing the new upstart rookie. However, from the way the dialogue is written, you can tell that this character is just full of hot air. However, to better convey that, I would have loved to see a reaction from the rookie to really hammer in that, oh, this old fogey doesn't know what he's talking about. But moving on, we go on to the next paragraph, and you can see that another character speaks. Now, not only does the other character speak, a character is finally named at this point. The only problem is that in the same paragraph, another character, which I'm assuming is the old fogey, begins speaking in the same paragraph, which causes confusion. Is this character mentioned? Is this the rookie? Or is it the old man? And I'm confused because the character descriptor right after this dialogue tag sounds more like a vet about to retire from the force, just fat, slovenly, doesn't really care. And as you can see, the dialogue switches again in the same paragraph, and again, and again. As most of you may know, basic prose formatting dictates that whenever a new character speaks, you start a new line. That's to keep you from being confused by whoever is talking. It's really quite unfortunate looking at this example because I've skimmed through this book and there is some phenomenal world building as well as characterizations. It's just bogged down by the neglect of basic writing principles. Being subjected to this paragraphs long quotation at the very beginning, like chapter 1, this bullshit. I'm at a point of singularity. I am consumed within the literary cosmic void with the mutterings of a madman. There's no there's like no mood, no nothing. It's just talking. It's a talking head. Practically, it's a talking head. I mean, just so much goes on through my mind while reading this. Where am I? Who are you? Where are we going? What is going on?
Help me!
What I mean by being in a literary cosmic void, what I mean is there's nothing contextualizing what I'm reading. It's just somebody talking at me, telling me about the world with no action between dialogue. Perhaps it could be good dialogue if only properly formatted. This is a rather extreme example of starting a narrative with dialogue. However, with less egregious examples, my sentiments on the matter remain the same. For me, starting a narrative with dialogue is the same as, I don't know, sitting on the public transit with some random guy by the name of Charlemagne, King of the Franks, plopping down and going, so I says to Mabel, I says, if you want me to expand the Holy Empire, you're going to have to prune my petunias by tonight. First of all, who's Mabel? Secondly, who are you? Thirdly, who prunes petunias? That's just me in the comfort and safety of my own home. If I was actually in that situation, I'd be a lot more agreeable. Oh yeah. Gotta prune those petunias. I'm partial to begonias myself. Please don't stab me. Please don't stab me. Please don't stab me. Ultimately, with me, when I start a narrative, I typically start off with a bit of like scene description or something that anchor my reader into the world that I'm setting up. Perhaps even clue them in as to what the theme might be. Anything but dialogue for me personally. I mean, I like to treat my audience special. I like to set the mood. Set up a little bit of atmosphere. What you want, reader? You want some Chardonnay? Some Dom Perignon? Got you. I know how to treat a reader well. Enough of that cringe. But speaking on treating your reader well, that goes on to my next point. And that would be treat your audience or your readers with respect. Now, what I mean by treat them with respect is don't insult their intelligence. They're quite bright individuals, as well as individuals with an innate storytelling intuition, let's just say. You don't have to hold their hand. You don't have to spell out every single thing to them. I believe it was a German filmmaker by the name of Ernest Lubitsch who is credited as saying, tell your audience 2 + 2, but don't solve the problem for them. Most people will conclude that 2 + 2 = 4. The brilliant thing about writing is we all have our own way of processing things or processing emotions. Just because one person gets 4 by using 2 + 2, another person will get it by 5 - 1 or -2 + 7. Yeah, that's 4. For me, I feel as though it's my responsibility as a writer to decide what kind of emotion I want to invoke in a scene and then proceed to go through actions, reactions, dialogue, and symbolism that can convey that emotion without telling my audience that. I trust that they know what it is I'm trying to convey, assuming I communicated clearly enough. Sometimes I don't. That's something I definitely, we all could improve. Something that helped me respect my audience more was screenwriting. Screenwriting exponentially helped my storytelling. It helped me get out of the character's headspace, of me telling you or telling my audience what my character is feeling. It caused me to be more visual. Another one of my writing staples is to filter abstractions through characters to create something more concrete. And what I mean by extractions is love, hate, justice, fear. A lot of these values mean different things for different people. So it's important to really understand your character and to filter these values through that character to get something concrete, so that you might be able to have those actions and reactions I mentioned previously. Love, for instance. How would love feel for a 7-year-old schoolboy? For a 7-year-old schoolboy, love may feel gooey and warm, like mom's freshly baked chocolate chip cookies on a school day afternoon. Or how would a veteran describe love? Is love sacrifice? Or is it service? Who's to say? It all boils down to that particular character. And that's the beauty of this staple of mine. This is the one staple that I enjoy most. This is the writing staple that I have the most fun with. It's such an interesting exercise to go beyond your own understanding, or to go beyond your own perspective, and to put your feet in another's shoes. So yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for me today. I told you this would be a short video. Down in the comments below, tell me what type of writing staples do you employ to elevate your writing. This was just me rambling about what it is that I do for my writing and some exercises that I employ. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If so, like, comment, share, and subscribe, as well as ring the bell so you can always be notified. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Later. Bye.